Yeah, you're on time. That's yeah, I know. Yeah, thumbs up. Good times, man. You're on time. Good one. Is it going? Anyway, welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. I know we had to change times for those that are going to watch this later. You got the portal going? Is it going? That's like freaking monster size, bro. Okay. I like that, yeah. There we go. We got it good. All right. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. Shootings. My goodness, golly me. Oh, my God. Let's start this out with something. Anyway. 6/29. It's a good day. It's a Monday. New shootings every day. We're waiting for a new one to come out. The last one was Charles Willard Street and Hammond Avenue, California, Carlson. Let's bring something up. Something that most people don't know exists. Something that is pretty cool. Pretty cool. Yeah, let's use this one. I like this one, man. Cool. All right, right here, Gun Violence Archive. Now, what it is, it's a database for all of you. People who like to scroll the Doom series in YouTube, you know, find the local event of hostility, who died, the bloodshed, the massacre, the forensic ballistic crime scene reconstruction for you and all your curiosities, especially all you forensics people and all you forensics people worldwide that are hitting me on LinkedIn. Be patient. Yeah, I'm getting tore up with it. It's cool though. I like it. Just please be patient with me. You know, got a lot going on. Anyway, this site is pretty cool. It stays relatively up to date for major ballistic scenes, so to say, kinetic projectile scenes. Now, it's not saying that every scene is reported, here. It all depends on, the agency and the agency's disclosure. But this one, gunviolencearchive.org, charts, maps, limitations. It's pretty good just for, historical venue. That way, if you're doing any ballistic or shooting research, it's something good for you. Why do you have this here? Was it your curiosity type in? I got you. Anyway, so you've got the maps. You got within the last 72 hours, reports, the explainer, what the explainer would be, disclaimer information from the actual website. Last 72 hour charts and maps, reports that have actually come in, not come in, but reports that have been gathered over the years. They're a little behind, obviously, on this one, which I'm not, happy about. But it's cool. It's better having something like this versus nothing, versus the FBR's, well, the FBI, UCR. I almost put like two entities together, like military intelligence, two words that don't make sense. So this is a pretty cool website before we get into the show. And there's another one, MST, mass shooting tracker, goes up to 2026. I found that, neither one of these are relatively better than the other. The information that's put on here is basically, the agency, who got the information, who reported the information. The credibility and the validity of the information obviously is always left up to interpretation. What's, subjective as to what's going to be put in here, or as to what's being taken out of a law enforcement report or interagency report that someone got their hands on. I mean, yeah, they had to get their hands on or get the information reported to them for this to actually be uploaded, have any validity to it. But it's pretty good. It goes into a little detail. This one, actually, the MST, I like it. It's kind of got, not validity and credibility academically, mind you, because it is media. It is, news dot whatever, real, fake, whatever you want to call it. But, it's good just to get a little bit of a bite on the information. As to this one, as far as charts, the GVA, it's cool, but the actual... the MST is a little bit better. Kind of helps you find a few more things. Just get a little bit more, information that's out there media-wise. But the GVR actually kind of breaks it down, quick limitation to where you can see it, victims killed, victims injured, all the way down statistical, numerical. Now, keep this in mind. It's not always going to be 100% accurate, but when you're looking at it, today's the 29th, June 29th, one in Texas, one in Connecticut, Illinois, and yesterday the 28th, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26. Need I go on? So, good God. This whole page, man. Whole second page, all the way still on the 28th, June 28th, yesterday. Let's see what page 3. Page 3, full from the 28th. Page 4, a quarter, all the way up to June 28th. So, 2 people injured. 3 people injured, 1 victim killed. So that kind of gives you an idea of the totality. Is there a mathematical formula to this? Is there something that actually takes all of this and puts it together and puts it in terms or meaningful content for you to understand? All right. When we hear contagion, we think monkey virus, we think, animals, or we think a Wuhan lab or bat doo-doo or a corona or a mosquito or something that's designed to put I was going to say Fauci in you, the fear in you, right? To go out and buy some kind of chemical suit or something to keep yourself safe. Most people think virus, the spread of disease. Researchers studying mass violence use contagion differently, all right? It's a physical or emotional contagion. It's the unconscious process of absorbing or mimicking the catch, catching the emotions, the behaviors, the attitudes of those around you. It's kind of like follow the leader, the sheep, right? We've had those, few episodes about protests, follow the leader, the mass, the ones that are the instrumentationalist of the protest, the ones that are the catharsis, the emotional. It's the same way here, but it's specific toward a shooting, a contagion. What is the psyche abnormal to this? What is the abnormality? That's where in research, that's where the bottom dollar is. That's where the actual grassroots for the study and the research. It operates through a subtitle of nonverbal cues within society, vocal tones. It mirrors society, the automatic sync of your emotion with the environment that you're in. Take the shooting at the stabbing in Texas, the high school track. We're not going to go into trying to eval all of this, but one race is all for the race that commits a crime, and one race is all for the race that's a victim of a crime. Now, we're not identifying which is which, but the tribalism, the vocal tone, the vocal intellect, the tone, the environment, the tribalism of where you're at in the moment. In sociology and criminology, contagion refers to the spread of behavior through observations, visual, frontal cerebral cortex. Observation could be smell, hearing, vision, right? Imitation and social influence. Social media, your favorite doom scroll of the day. Yeah, doom scroll. The majority of people just want to doom scroll so that they can see something that fits the frame of this show, the contagion, the mass shooting. Is there a mathematical formula to this? Is there a mathematical pretext? Well, there's a mathematical pretext when it falls under the psychological, the sociological research in contagion, the putting together the environment, the imitation, the social influences. What is the mathematical formula? Think of a Lockhart scale or a piece of paper that you would get in the mall while you're Christmas shopping. Anybody ever been Christmas shopping out in stores and somebody runs up to you with a clipboard? Hey, do you want to? No, I'm not here to answer your questions. I'm here to buy the latest cool toy, the latest cool beanbag. All of that is statistical analysis. So yes, there is a summary. There is a mathematical equation to the introduction of emotion. There's a mathematical equation for social environment, observation, mimicking, the mirror, the vocal tone, the influence of the vocal tone, the influence of the nonverbal cues, the physical kinesic, physical gestures, right? Everything is there. The psychological mechanism that drives this, all right, is through individual constructs, which include emotion-driven polarization. Emotion, your own emotion, polarized and separated. It's an identity. Think stigmatism, think social identity, think stereotype, polarization, multiple words you could use for this, right? The algorithm on social media often polarizes negative and aggressive content. Yeah. It's polarized because it's prioritized. It's taken out of the context of, well, it's just normal media. Yeah, but we're going to polarize this into the high profile section, the influence, the tone, the emotion, and its specific content that significantly increases emotional validity. Yeah, and vitality. Validity and vitality, all right? What is the trigger? How deep is it going to touch society? How deep can social media go? How deep can the news network go? How deep can the news anchor go with correct tone, correct physical kinesic expression, correct emotional selection of wording, political prioritization of polarization of one side of political venue versus another side, left against the right, Republican against Democrat, conservative against libertarian, or all against all, race war versus races war. There you go. It's the emotional driven polarization. There's a mathematical formula to this, thus the contagion and the mathematical formula that is used to identify shootings. Why? There's always a but, there's always a what if, there always is a who, what, when, and where, and how. There's an influence, there's a structure, there's a mens rea, there's a capitalization on the mens rea in the psychological context of sociological motivation that induces mens rea, the mind, which is before the act, the actus rea. The next, collective adrenaline, period. Energy, the group's identity. Yeah. It's kind of like the high school track stabbing. One group identity, specific race was assault. Defend one because one is the same race. It's not rocket science. Do your own research in social media. It's all over the place. Short little crappy 1 second, 2 minute little clips. It's all over the place. And it goes both ways. We're not talking about one specific incident. We're talking about multiple. Need I remind you? Wrong one. Yeah, that one. All right. Need I remind you? 4 pages of the 28th. Wonder how many pages for the 27th, 2 days ago. Let's just go to page 7 and see where it's at. Yep. 3 pages full. The 27th. Good God almighty, man. Look at all them shootings. Look at that. You have to stop right here at Memphis. Man, that's like an hour from us, dude. Let me see. Oh, okay, 1 injured. At least it wasn't a mass slaughter in the Mall of Murder, right? Anybody from Memphis? Mall of Murder? Mall of Memphis? Algorithms, prioritize it, all right? It significantly increases the emotion of society. It's used to engage with content. Yes, the emotion. It's polarized through emotion-driven polarization media locally. Yeah, locally. Yeah, I said it locally. Your crappy news anchors, your crappy streamers that you know, that you watch all the time, that you support. They know what triggers you. They know what the emotional pull for you is going to be for the day. What's happening? What's going on? Where's the movement? Where's the identity? Where's the emotion? Yeah, the outrage amplification, the outrage amplification, the accumulation of the outrage. Spread it rapidly, fast, with speed, kind of like Speedy Gonzales in a Looney Tune costume, through the digital network. So it's polarized in itself to target you. There is a mathematical formula to this, people. Why the mathematical formula? Why is that? Do you think that the media, social media, news, focuses as much on same race mass shooting as it is easier to focus on race versus race or 2 different or multiple race mass shooting? What is the polarization? Well, let's polarize the same race shooting. It's not as critical. It's not going to tug on the heartstring of the emotion. It's not going to make one reflect on behavior, the imitation of influence, the imitation of follow the leader, the imitation of let's do what this instrumentationalist of a protest would do. Argue, burn the town down, say that our race is innocent. There's a mathematical formula to this, and digital networking, social media, broadcasting, live streamers use this. Yeah. Now, some of you are saying, this guy's doing it right now. Is it? No, I'm not focused on any specific race, creed, or religion. I'm just telling you how it's done and how it's argued scholarly in a courtroom by experts that will be certified, bona fide, stamped on both sides, and vetted by the judge to testify as experts, and their testimony be allowed as evidence in a courtroom and in a trial that results in quite possibly a life sentence or a death sentence. You don't believe me? Do your own research on this now. It's not rocket science. Let's go on to the next one outside of the group identity. Let me see. Yeah, here it is. Anonymity. Yep. Anonymity. I hate that freaking word, dude. And radicalization. Within large crowds. Think of a protest, all right? Decentralized online spaces. Something that's not out there to the public. Kind of like that Discord server that people pay money to and memberships to speak freely and talk the gambit of the linguistic language that everybody wants to hear. It's kind of like Fox and CNN, left wing, right wing. You tune in for it so that you get fed the emotion, the dialogue, the digital network that has polarized the information that they don't want you to hear because you've jumped in and you've triggered yourself in. Now there's a mathematical formula to it, how to hook you in to the mass shooting contagion and how to make it emotionally affect you. The radicalization, large crowds, decentralized online spaces, the anonymity of collective people with lower inhibitions. Yeah, I said it. The collective of people with lower inhibitions. The doom scrollers. The ones that want to find the reason to argue they're a victim. They're an aggressor. Well, it's this person's fault, that person's fault, the side of this, the side of that. It's the rain, it's the weather, it's the squirrels, it's the shrimp cocktail sauce flavor. Whatever it is, somebody is going to mathematically consume the information that society is exhibiting emotionally. Yeah, chat, algorithm. You don't think that crap is stored somewhere and used against you? Yeah, the non-normative. It's what it is. It's the non-normative. Where you're at, you thinking it's the norm. The local closed-off server, the non-confrontational place where I can speak, verbal action, verbal acuity, frontal cerebral cortex, the visualization, the hear, when I hear the cha-ching and the voice chats and the, what are those called? Where you hear the chats on the super chat. Yeah, see, I have no idea what that crap, this crazy shit's called, dude. We're not monetized. We don't make any money off this. This is education, right? Education, just for you. So, the confrontational zone, the non-confrontational zone. Crowds deploy to this. Crowds develop the common purpose when they select the digital network that works off of motion, prioritization, polarization, and the information is rapidly spread through the digital networks. Thus, you get non-credibility, non-validity, misinformation, misleading, and you always hear that fact check. There's no such thing as a fact check, okay? Period. There's no such thing as a fact check. It's kind of like forensics is science. There's no such thing. Forensics is preparation for presentation using practitioners of disciplines in the science fields with additional training to aid law enforcement. So there is no such thing as a fact check, because with one non-confrontational platform or a confrontational platform, the credibility and validity of the platform or the manner of rapidly displayed digital information or news source has no validity in itself, because it's the practice of polarization. Thus you hear the term fake news, polarizing one section. So yeah, there's a mathematical formula to the mass shooting Contagion. How are they, or the Contagion, how are they going to give it to you? Yeah, the digital virility, so to say. The virility, the Viagra, the testosterone, the endorphins, the dopamine, the entertainment, the one that's going to hook you in and suck you in and keep you sucked to the screen like a fly pinned to a windshield of a Maserati doing 100 on the highway. Yeah, you're there. You're stuck because the attention is there, the suggestion of violence. That's what hooked you in the first place. You're a mathematical principle. You do not think that the future shooters know that they're going to get attention? Yes, they know. Are they going to be the monarch, the sacrificial lamb? The martyr for the cause, the martyr for the inspirational, emotional outrage, the motivation for the religion, the race, the culture, the subculture, the attitude, the ideology, the edict, the rhetoric? They know. They're a mathematical part to it. They're a count to it. They're just a count in the whole equation. Period. Done. Over. Movements, campaigns, whatever, Gen Z, baby boomer, Gen X, Q, W, MHT, it doesn't freaking matter. Every culture, every subculture, every race, every genre of humanity on the globe has that non-norm, that norm, that confrontational and that non-confrontational zone where they can get the anonymity in there, the information, what you want to hear. You're going to flux to it. You're going to practice what is known as tribalism in the mathematical equation. The digital network. It's kind of like I always tell people, if you want to watch the Democrat convention, watch the Republican, watch the conservatives, watch the libertarians, watch everything. Get the full ball of non-credibility, non-validity, and non-fact-checking, because the fact-checking doesn't exist, because people are attracted and tribalized to that digital network that recognizes the contagion of you, your emotions, your psychological weakness to hook you. Yeah, trapping you like a fly on that windshield. It spreads. It's localized. Communities, the outrage, the mass global onslaught of the recent event. Look at George Floyd. Seriously? The guy wasn't killed by a knee on the neck. That's not how he died. That's only one side of the brachial plex. It's not going to kill you. Let me repeat myself. It is not going to kill you. Oh, yeah, Dr. Gurley, he's anti-George Floyd. No, I'm not. That didn't kill him. Oh, you got everybody in the world. I can't breathe. Take a knee. Hands up. Don't shoot. Why are the cops there with the damn gun? Psychological polarization. They're going to select the profile, the emotion, the switch, the construct in the race, the religion, the community. It's going to be twisted. It's going to be used. Suggestive terms that attract you to suggestive violence. The mathematical, literally, it's an infection in society. Yeah. Those people that are seeking the onslaught of emotional disturbance. They're seeking the mass reproduction of psychological abnormality and interpretation of what's really happening and what you're seeing. No, it's not a psyop. No, there's no NSA or super ninja organization that some president hired or some dastardly old age person in Congress or Senate who should have been gone 20 years ago created. That's not it. That's not what's going on here. It's you, the people that disseminate the information. Yet, instead of the process of highly publicized validity and credibility, it's the highly publicized attack on the credibility and validity, the influence, the small number that already exists of people that are vulnerable individuals in society, especially those that are vulnerable individuals in social media, news network, digital information that can't participate in anything, so they're going to spread the good word to you and be an anchor. Yeah. Do you think all of these people that are at these specific outlets are 100% with credibility and validity polarized to that single entity? If you're Fox, you're 100% conservative and Republican. If you're CNN, you're 100% left-wing and Democrat. Right-wing Fox. No. No. They're subject to the polarization of the emotional pull, the psychological struggle of how am I going to survive outside of this jobby job? So I'm at CNN and now Fox is going to offer me a 25% increase to get me. Yeah, they're gone, man. They're gone so quick. Chocks up, D-ring, aircraft, shoot deployed. Primary failure, secondary deployment. Yeah, they're going. They're going to send you where they want you to go. Yeah. That's what's going to happen, guys. And this is all educational. If you want a whole list of the resources we've actually got, send me an email, drmikeleg@gmail.com. I'll send it to you, all the sources that we use. We don't just make this up. We do not. Now, what is a mathematical model? Now, we understand the Contagion mathematical formula. Is there a mathematical process to the interpretation of mass shootings in society? How do we reflect on it? How do we see it? How do we add it? How do we quantify it? Again, we just went through the pages. There were 3, 3, and 3, 4, 4, and 4. That's just based on what is reported. And if you want me to, put something in the chat, I'll bring that up and we'll go through that again. And yeah, we've got the... Is that thing even active, man? The actual portal chat? Is it going? Okay. Copycat behavior. Yeah, let's clean that up, dude. All right, put it on main chat, guys. If you're in a portal, get on YouTube or Rumble. Yeah, portal's cool. That's just the kickoff and the start for the show. Academic people. All right, mathematical model. Let's get back on this. The mathematical model is a statistical system. And within scholarly research, it's used to identify pattern, right? Pattern behavior, and estimates probabilities. So if there's something happening in society, trend-wise, an incident that sparks public outrage, the emotion, the vulnerability, the cataclysmic event that triggered everyone's psychological dilapidation in the moment or for the day, it's going to be used. Are random attacks commonly random? Or is it an opportunity? Premeditated? Mens rea? These things that are pattern, that are estimated, probability, intent, random. Do the attack clusters happen together? That's a good one. Are they happening at the exact same time in different cities? Same date? The body counts? Victim counts, the deaths, the in custody, the suicide by police, the active shooter self-suicide, avoidance of prosecution and imprisonment, sometimes capital, the death penalty. Does one event create a short-term risk for more events localized in the community? We all see that one has a high likelihood because we see the onslaught of protest, the onslaught of disturbance, the onslaught of violence. So there is a mathematical continuum to this. What is the influence of emotion, psychological, social construct, community, culture, subculture, religion? The mathematical pretext. So you can't say there isn't a statistical value that increases one above the other, because there is. Now, we're not advocating for one to be the top of the food chain or identified as the worst of the worst or the non-worst of the worst, the highest or the lowest in the barrel. That's not what we're advocating here. That's not what we're talking about. There is a structure to the statistical formula, the research, the pattern, the estimation of possibilities. What do you think the FBI does? What do you think law enforcement agencies do when they have an analyst? What do you think the FBI has? Analysts, probabilities, likelihoods. Somebody's like, oh, this guy's talking crap. Well, how many analysts work for the FBI? How many analysts work for the federal government, your local agencies, your state? They're there. They're analyzing. They're doing the same thing. Things that your social media is not going to tell you. Your news networks are not going to tell you. There is a mathematical formula to the contagion. It depends on the world of CJ, psychology, sociology. Yes, the effect. How do you think the news networks and your social media doom scroll hooks you in? Put a hashtag in. Anybody ever put those in for what you're supposed to attract? All these live streamers do. They even do on this show. Research, forensics, crime scene, serial killer. Yeah, we do. They do the same thing. It's a temporary increase in the likelihood of another event occurring because you're hooking into it. You're suckering in. You're being pulled into that emotional, psychological pull. I'm going to polarize these people and I'm going to watch this because I'm here. But technically, you're polarizing yourself to that one entity that really quite possibly has no credibility or no validity. Now, I'm not saying the other side has credibility or validity, but I'm saying you're polarizing two different ways. Nobody's ever explained it to you this way. So now there's more mathematical continuance. It's all on you. Yeah. There's 15 doom scroll shows going on, but you've chose 5. Why? Because they're more emotionally in tune with what you think about a specific race, creed, culture, or an event, or the influence event, or the trigger of the event. Yeah, the catastrophic continuance of your conspiracy theory. Yeah, that's where you're going to go. There's a mathematical formula to it. I'm not lying. You know I'm not lying. You woke up this morning and checked your social media, didn't you? Yeah, anybody hear about the shooting? It was a lot of stuff been out about that shooting in Germany. I haven't read much about it whatsoever. Not much. Yeah, okay. What about the jail that was like so to say taken over by inmates in Bertie County, North Carolina? Yeah, I bet there were some Haudenosaunee in there. No, don't point your finger at that. Was not culture, anti-culture. No, it's Bertie County. Come on. For those of you that live there, you know what I mean. That's a joke, people. Now, why human beings copy behavior? We're tribalistic. Yes? Why do you think animals copy? How do you think baby dingoes learn how to hunt, kill? Mama, copy behavior. How do your kittens learn how to hunt, kill, and kill the mice? Copy. How do children learn how to speak? Frontal cerebral, what? Cortex. Audio, visual, enunciation, expression, watching the linguistics. People that read lips. Yes, the copy behavior. You copy behavior. I like that style. I like that fashion. No, I like her haircut. I'm going to go do the same freaking thing, but it looks like shit on you, but you think it looks good because it looks good on somebody else. Human beings learn through observation. Yes, mimic the construct of society, the copycat, the music, the movies, the video games, the lingo, the linguistics that you use with your friends, words, religion, practice. Yeah. Psychologists also call it social learning because it's constructed within society. Therefore, it's a construct sociological of religion, culture, subculture. Yeah, it is. Tribalism, the separation of the tribes. When I say tribalism, I mean everybody practices tribalism. Period. Done. Over. I practice tribalism. I like hanging with people that have gun ranges and like to go out and shoot fully auto weaponry and just blow it up and send it into an inferno blazing hell of glory while we're out there training with tools with manufacturer's purpose of use and intent, not to go commit crimes and commit mass sprees of murder, mayhem, or mass shootings. So yeah, tribalistic. What about you? Do you get together for your fashion shows, your language, your book reading events, your trends, your political belief seminars, your political belief doom scroll podcasts, your criminal behavior people that you hang with? Yeah, we're going to go out and do some mass violence. That's the tribalism based on social learning. The vulnerability of the individual repeatedly observes violent offenders. Repeatedly. That's culture, subculture, society, sociological learning. Mathematical formulas are put into this. So yeah, mass shooting, the contagion of mass shooting has a mathematical pretext to it, a background, a formula, the prediction. The FBI has profilers, the FBI has analysts, law enforcement has analysts that do all of this that I'm talking about. So none of you can, in a comment or an email and in a reflection to somebody else, saying this guy doesn't know what he's talking about, he's all wrong. Bullshit. Bull. Happens every day with agencies. Happens every day. Let me see. Right here. Why do you think they store this? This is open source information. You don't think law enforcement agencies give this information to these resources, or they get it from somewhere else? Man, a lot. Comes from somewhere, right? It's used. The interpretation. What was psychological? What was the human factor? What was the trend in the moment that was politically being circulated to create the emotional drive, the collective of the people to consume themselves in ideology, ideology, rhetoric, thought, pretext? Who was the instrumentation? Now who's the influence? Now who are we going to copycat to meet a specific goal? Numbers, baby. That's what's going to get you found when you're on the run. Any of you that watched the last episode, the trance room. I didn't say trans, I said trance, music, trance, a trance room. Yeah, they're tired, sleep deprivation, emotionally gone. Yeah, the imitation becomes possible now. You can become the next major serial killer, the next major active shooter. Let's cover one more thing. I know it's Monday. We started 2:30, a little early. Don't want to make this a long streaming thing because it's not a replacement for a classroom. If you want a classroom, reach out to me, get yourself into an education, especially law enforcement that do not even understand that there is a mathematical equation to this. And for all of you out there that watch this, your politicians, your Democrats, your Republicans, your conservatives, your right wings, your libertarians, your left, they know this. It's one of the first things they're taught when they get into that seated representative, congressman, whatever, that honored position of executive power for a specific limitation of ability and power. They learn this. The targeted selection, all right, the blueprint for the mathematical formula. There is a targeted selection in society. Why does one create a mass shooting event? Why does one go out and buy all this garbage and all this equipment and do this? What's the target selection? There's a target, opportunity, vulnerability. Why are you here? The target. Who are you going to go shoot and who are you going to attempt to kill? We're not talking about the message. We're talking about the target. The target, the victims, emotion, polarization. You've been polarized by yourself, by your doom scrolling, only to polarize yourself with one subculture or group to feel that it's the top of the totem pole of credibility and validity, when quite possibly it's not at the time or at the moment. We're not arguing which is the best. We're talking about the targeted selection, the influence, when the offender proves behavior template, so to say. When they prove it, why do you think The Republicans are always talking bad about the Democrats and the right wing and the left wing and the left wing to the right wing. Yeah, it's proven. It's behavioral template. The selection of the target. It's the copycat of the offense from last year, the copycat of the offense from the other day. It's the copycat of the offense from a decade ago. It's kind of like immigration. People act like 2026 and, Biden and Trump or something new. Give me a break, guys. It's been going on for decades. It's stupid. The weapon choice. Why knives? Why rifles? Why semi-automatic? Why modified? Why? What about just the John Wick pencil? Why do we have to have a manifesto? Why the manifesto? It's just a mass killing for a purpose and for a means. No, but there's a mathematical formula. There's a causation. There's a cognition. The cognition is you want to manifesto and spread your disease of logic, ideology, rhetoric. The ideology of the ideology. Yeah, the manifesto. Because what's going to happen? I know after I go commit a mass shooting, the crazy psychotic person would think this. And then they create a manifesto because they know the doom scrollers are going to see it. The left, the right, the this, the that, the people that are on their behavioral template are going to see it. Why? Because the media is going to circulate it, man. It's going to be published. They're going to see your select target. They're going to see the why. They're going to see the behavior. They're going to see the political belief, the trend, the language, the fashion. Yeah, fashion. Fashion. What about shooters that decorate and write all kind of slurs all over their platform, their rifles, their guns, their magazines? I said magazines. There's no such thing as clips. It's like that one lawyer talking about the Montreal shooting. He's probably one of the most guys I would give credit right now because he was talking about an SKS platform, not a AK-47. But yeah, the fastest way to reload an SKS platform is a stripper clip. It's like a clip, but it holds the. We're not going to get into that. This is not ballistics. For those of you that know what I'm talking about, you understand. SKS platform in the magazine, because the SKS is junky as far as magazine reload, refit, get back into projectile projection than an AK. The manifesto, why I chose this platform. It's written in there. The clothing, the cool clothing. Anybody remember the Nashville shooting? The attempt to look Rambo-ish and airsoft shit and gear that looked like banana Sailor Jim told them how to put it on. The attack timing, the choice, the victimization, the hardened, the weak. Is there security? Is it a soft target? Well, if it's a hard target, can I take the hard target out and make the manifesto glorious and look good in my clothing as I'm taking out those that are more clothed out and tactical looking than me? Because I've spent more time at target selection, so my target selection said I have to train harder and train better to just simply take out the target. Don't want to get too dastardly here. Yeah, we will. Screw it. It's educational. It's research. More target selection, more training, more weapon choice, more design and internal manifesto of how to win the target selection and kill people. Mathematical. Psychological, sociological, criminal. Period. Prediction, assumption. What's going to happen? The attack timing. When and where, man? Most damage. Yeah. Mass people going to be there. Who's going to be there? What? We're not looking at just attacking and a mass shooting a building. What are we going to do? What? It's going to be fixable. We want to send a signal. We want to get that information out there. We want the words in the manifesto to have meaning, to have structure, to have contagion, to influence like a disease the society of you, the doom scroller. The media strategy. Oh, the media is going to get a hold of it. How's the media going to grab this, baby? How are they going to take my manifesto and me, the emotion, the psychological breakdown, the emotional failure, the construct of sociological deliverance called me in bad form out there in society? The media is going to take it and run with it. All of you know it. You've been seeing it for every mass shooting incident, every knifing, every domestic assault, every kind of violence distributed culturally, man's inhumanity toward man, that media can get their freaking teeth or fingers in to make the other side look bad and to polarize the other side from the people that they want to send their message to. That's why media is directional. That's why you have no fact check and credibility and validity. It doesn't happen because the credibility and the validity and the people that work for the agencies, the dissemination side of the information in society, media, main media, circulation, there's no credibility and validity in them because they will jump ship so fast for that one major thing called targeting and selection of opportunistic dollar bills where they will go. Yeah. Everything will change now to meet the new self polarized into what I polarized before. Why do you think you hear Democrats are leaving the Democrat Party and going to Republican? Republicans are leaving and going here and this. Why? The polarization. It's self-driven. There's no credibility and validity, so truth search, fact check doesn't exist. There you go. Eat that, suck on that, social media, and everybody out there that wants to use that word. Did you fact check this? No, because you can't fact check jack shit in 2026. You can't. You can't. Somebody send it to me in an email, send it to me in a text, give me a link. Prove it. You can't prove it. Credibility and validity based off of statistical venue, emotion, psychological, sociological construct of society, culture, subculture. Good grief. It's kind of like saying Muhammad was great and truly spoke to God. Wasn't Muhammad supposed to speak to Gabriel? But then the next day went before the leaders and said, no, I didn't. Because there was a puppy in the house. You think a God that made an angel that's scared of a puppy? For those of you that don't understand what I'm saying, do your research on that. Yeah, do your research on it. I used that about 8 months ago in a classroom, and people looked at me like, he's delivering Islamic hate speech. No, go read it for yourself. Go read it. Go read it. Before the Hebrew and the Jewish Gentile leaders of the tribes, Muhammad was supposed to talk to an angel the night before, but came back with no information, no privilege of credibility, validity, or fact check. But the fact check of, well, there's a puppy there and the angel was scared of a puppy. So how does Allah, pattern, statistical, create an animal or a being or multiple beings on the earth that are supposed to live in tranquility? The lambs, the lions, the sheep, the emotion, the psychological, the sociological, the construct of society, the tribalism of you and your separation. Now you're falling prey to reduced imitation material. You're falling prey to reduced notoriety of validity and credibility. Mass shooting has statistical value. It's math. The contagion matters. It's spreading like a disease in society. The mimic, the identifying, the warning signs. Everybody sees the warning signs. It's called you. Polarization, media, social media, rhetoric, race, creed, religion, ideology, edict, bipartisan, partisan, Democrat, Republican, conservative, libertarian, LGBT, heterosexual, not whatever the hell you want to call it. Acronym it all day long. There's the difference. That is the contagion. It's spreading like wildfire. So there is a mathematical formula to all of this when it comes to mass shooting, because everybody wants that identifiable warning sign and that manifesto to plan behavior for the interruption of the next event. The interpretation, the understanding of the contagion. Got to understand it. Why did this happen? You barely scratched the surface because you have the manifesto, you have the fashion, you have the attack, the identity warning signs, but you truly do not have the definition of why one individual chooses to be a mass shooter. You don't. It's not always a copycat crime. None of them are copycat crimes. None of them. Because it's not a copycat. It's not. That's like saying one person is the same emotionally. One person is the same psychologically. One person is the same ideology, rhetoric, religion, identity. No one is. When a person imitates the element, that is different from a copycat. The element is cultural. The element is subculture. The element is sociological. The element is a construct that can be turned into mathematical interpretation of possibility, pretext, pre-assumption. Where are we going to send our police now for the hardened targets, the weaker targets, the time, the element, the perceived offenses that'll happen in the future, the exposure, the exposed, plus the information that's being exposed at the last mass shooting. So now we know what to do in the future, but you don't have all of the mathematical sums. You always have the numeric outliers, which statistics always likes to get rid of the outliers. For those of you that are statistical people, the outlier, the p-values suck. They're worthless. They're garbage. Let's close out with this, the copycat effect, since everybody likes to use this. I've heard this so much in the past year with all these shootings. Every time I go lecture somewhere, well, this copycat got the same type of gun. It's not a copycat, Pinhead. It's not. It's like, Dr. Gurley, if I get hit in the head with a 2x4, would it, cause blunt force trauma? No, not to you, stupid ass. Not to your thick skull. It's not going to happen. Not to you. That's that special speaking point, all right? Exposure and attack coverage. Mass shooters are looking for this. They know when it's going to happen because they're the one arranging it, and they know where because the mass exposure for the reason, the ideology, the rhetoric, the manifesto, for the element of the next shooting. Someone is going to take their element and use it. That is not an exact copycat. There's no exact damn copycat in existence, people. Stop watching FBI. Stop watching all your TV shows. Copycat is a loose slang. It's a loose term. It's kind of like fact check. Credibility and validity is everything down to the instrumental wire. Everything. There's only one person that knows that. The previous mass shooter, the previous violent offender, and the new one. But the new one is only subject to the information that's been released by the media, the news, the law enforcement outlets. We know how this is. I don't know everything, so there's no such thing. It's the fascination of the offender, the new one coming up, the mathematical equation. Well, this group of people got to hit these hardened targets 1 time, 2 times, 3 times. I think I can double that to 6. The fascination of the offender, the identification of the offender. How does one identify themselves to the past element? How does one identify themselves to a race, creed, culture, religion to really step up to the plate and be a mass shooter? Mathematical identification of pattern, psychological, emotional, social construct, influence, community, social media, language, fashion, skill, training, target selection, reverse, start over. There it is. The fantasy development. Everybody fantasizes. Everybody's had a fantasy. You don't think a active shooter or mass shooter has a fantasy? The victory? The conclave of myself as the hero. Yeah. The god of the past that people want to copycat, but can't copycat because a copycat does not exist, people. Stop watching FBI shows and stupid-ass crime. It's crap. The planning behavior. The intricate. Yes. The extrovert, the introvert, the time spent, the dedication to it. It's like the dedication to you searching for your doom scroll show. It's in your subscription. You just go through my favorite doom scroll, but you're not looking for anything because you want the polarization of what you want to hear emotionally, subconscious, the drive for your left wing, right wing, conservative, libertarian, whatever the heck it is you are. You want that suck in, that drive, that attack execution of learning something new. You're going to attack this and learn it and gain it. And it's kind of like going through a course, right? University course, college course. I'm going to attack that course and get an A. Suddenly you bite off more than you can chew because you went in polarized. Yeah, you went in polarized thinking this is the way it is. How hard can it be? Oh, it can be hard. It can be devastatingly hard. Interpretation, statistical pattern, element recognition, element implementation of understanding for you. Opening up that hippocampus and those memory systems, those little drawers in your brain, you don't quite pick it up or understand it now. Suddenly, how hard could it be? It just got really hard. The same thing with a mass active shooter. Identify, train, repeat, fail, start over. The same thing. There's a mathematical principle to it. So yeah, the contagion is society. The contagion is You. The contagion is what you watch. The contagion is the news, the media, social media, religion, culture, race. That's the disease. Yeah, it's the disease. The interpretation, that's the we versus them. Got to get them before they get us. Well, okay, great. Put that out there. They're going to make sure they get you before you get them. The element of psychological, emotional tug, rip, setting the fire on the heartstrings. Anybody ever heard the term the heart's going to get what the heart wants? The emotion? Well, you're threatened by people. Be damned the world. I'm going to protect them. So when you're out there and you're out there in public, remember the exposure coverage time, the fascination of the offender with you, the identification of the offender. You don't know who that is, right? You don't know. There is no pattern to you. There's no credibility or validity or fact check for everyone you're hanging out with. You don't know if they're the next active shooter or mass killer with a weapon. The identity of the offender is the hardest one, right? Are you scared of everybody? The fascination development. Are they dreaming of mass shooting against you because of the contagion, the disease of the brain, the psychological, the sociological? Did they plan being there with you? Look around the room. Next time you're out there in society, the attack, execution, is it going to happen? What's the fashion statement? What's the intimidation? What's the notoriety of the person? Are they the charismatic one in clothing with the perfect timing to be there and get the attention, and the one that knows the perfect media strategy to get all of the attention? Or is it the one that's the introvert in the corner? There's always a mathematical formula to it, people. The only thing I can suggest is, in that instant, make sure you're the statistical outlier. Because typically the outliers are the ones that aren't counted. And at a mass shooting event, the ones that are counted are the ones that are the aggressors and the ones that are the victims.